Welcome to the Create a New You show, helping you to do better, go further, have greater, feel exceptional, and improve the quality of your life. Here is your host. I am the Sharonda.
Hi, I am the Sharonda, and this is the Create a New You show. Today's topic is something very personal for me because I am a divorced woman. Now, when I decided to leave my ex-husband, there was just a short amount of time for me to get my things together and go. Sometime later, a short time later, he decided to file for divorce, and we were off and running on our legal proceedings. Now, because there was just this short window, I was really still trying to establish my life and my home and financial status and everything. So I really didn't have funds to hire an attorney and fight the divorce proceedings and all of that. So I ended up representing myself. So I was fortunate enough to meet Auhnk Ra Auhnkhotep, who is the owner of Metropolitan Legal Research and Writing LLC. Thank you so much for joining me on the show today.
Thank you, Ms. Sharonda.
Okay, so for what you don't know is that Mr. Auhnkhotep, he helped me prepare my legal documents, and he briefed me on what to expect during the divorce proceedings and all of that so that I could be successful in the divorce trial and win.
Yes.
And I really appreciate him for that. Okay, now going back though, it would have been easier for him, his job would have been easier if I had prepared to leave before leaving. So today's show is really about preparing to leave. Now, as I stated earlier, when I actually decided to leave, I only had a short amount of time because my safety was important to go ahead and go. But I contemplated leaving for several months before I actually did. So during that time, if I had prepared to go, even if I decided to stay, but prepared to go, I would have been much better off after I left. What do you think about that?
I agree 100%. Normally in those type of proceedings, women should prepare because you don't know what can happen 2, 5, 10 years down the line. And if you don't prepare, then unfortunately you can suffer as a consequence of being unprepared in a marriage.
Okay. All right, so say for instance, a woman leaves the home and she doesn't want her spouse or whomever to know where she has gone to. What are some things that she can do?
Well, a woman can seek a protection order.
Okay.
In the protection order, you can ask the judge to prohibit any utilities company or anybody who has public access to your information. You can ask the judge to prohibit them from releasing that to that particular one who you seek an order of protection on.
Okay. Now, generally, well, I'm not going to say generally, but sometimes finances are an issue. So is there a cost associated with seeking that order of protection?
Well, it depends on your financial status. If you explain to the judge that you don't have money to initiate or pay the cost of a protection order, then what you do will file a motion to proceed as a poor person. The judge will assess your financial status or condition, and then he'll determine whether or not he'll allow you to proceed without paying court costs. Generally, when a woman seeks an order of protection and claim poverty, the judge normally grants the motion to proceed as a poor person, and then she can proceed in the litigation without paying the court costs.
Beautiful. Okay. All right. Now, in my situation, I trusted my ex-husband, so I didn't ask many questions about bank accounts and assets, and I didn't ask any questions really. I just trusted him. In hindsight, that probably wasn't the best thing to do. But that's not even really preparing to leave. That is probably what a person, anybody, whether it's a male or a female, you should do in the relationship anyway, is to know where the finances are.
Yes, I agree. Marriage is like a contract. when you enter into a marriage, both parties should be truthful about their finances.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not, that's a breach of the marriage. That's a breach of the contract. But had you investigated the financial status prior to becoming a divorcee, you would have uncovered any financial records or institution that he was using unbeknownst to you. If you suspect that he was untruthful about his financial status, you could have delved into or investigated and then became aware of the truthfulness about his finances. That's something you didn't do.
Right.
And you may have was comfortable and thought that he was telling you the truth, but in fact, he was being untruthful, and that harmed you.
So to be knowledgeable of where the finances are, what the assets are, not only just to know what the assets are, but whose name is on the asset.
That's very important. I think if you're in a marriage and the basis of marriage is to be truthful and honest with one another, then if you suspect that your other half is not, then I will encourage women to enter into a contract that he be honest and truthful about his finances. Just in case he's not, then you can sue him for not being truthful and honest. So I will encourage any woman to investigate the totality of his financial status so that you'll be well informed about the money that he may have he's telling you nothing about. That is very important.
Okay, so Missouri, and I know we have viewers that are not in the state of Missouri, but in the state of Missouri, it is a marital property state. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay, and what does that mean?
Well, normally property that's amassed or finances that's amassed during the marriage, you both have an equal share in it. Property that was obtained before the marriage, legally you don't have a legal stake in that property. So, for instance, if your husband have $1 million before he married you, legally you have no stake in that money because that was his money before he married you. That's what you call not marital property.
Okay.
But if that money was accumulated during the marriage, then that's marital property.
And that works for a house?
That works for a house,
a
vehicle, bank accounts, money, or any other property that's obtained within that marriage.
Marital property. Okay, very good. So, are there any other things you want to add as far as being legally, from the legal aspect of being prepared?
Yes, as I said earlier, women should always ensure that they have sufficient information with regards to the finances in a marriage, because some people have a tendency to hide finances just because a divorce is possible. But to avoid you becoming victimized by that, research your other half's financial status, and you both enter into a contract in regards to the finance, that you be truthful about your bank accounts, that you be truthful about how much money you have. And once this information is obtained, then you have a contract. So if he breached the contract, meaning tries to hide his finances, then you can sue your husband in court.
Wow, that's serious. That's really serious. So what I would say to anybody is it's easier to get this information before you go than it is after you leave.
I agree.
And if there's any assets or money or what have you that you may want, it's easier to have access to that. It's easier to get it before you leave than it is after, because then it's kind of up to the court.
I agree. I agree. As you said, it's best to have this information before the possibility of a divorce. Afterwards, it's going to be somewhat of a struggle during court proceedings, any other litigation. Had you had this information before, then the legal process would be smoother.
Right.
And more expedient.
Right. Well, we've been here today with Auhnk Ra Auhnkhotep, and tell us how to contact you.
Yes, as Sharonda said earlier, I'm the president of Metropolitan Legal Research and Writing LLC. I can be telephone at 314-814-9681, or you can email me at mlrwllc7@gmail.com.
And like I said, he helped me tremendously. I was not in a position to be able to afford an attorney, but because I was legally able to represent myself, and he helped me represent myself, he saved my life and did pretty good in court.
Thank you. Yes.
Well, this has been the Create a New You show. We've been talking about preparing to leave. If you're in a bad relationship, if you are somewhere, if you're with someone and you know that you shouldn't be there and your safety is paramount. Don't worry about what other people might say about you. Don't worry about how your family might feel. It is you that is the most important in this situation. Your children will adapt. Your finances will adjust. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I want you to do better, go further, have greater, feel exceptional, and improve the quality of your life. I am Sharonda. Thank you so much for watching.